So this is a practice that can be done in the morning or whenever you feel the need, just to limber up your body a little bit and just get rid of any aches that you might be feeling. So we're going to start just the feet at least width apart, and just shrug the shoulders a few times and just kind of acknowledging to yourself any parts of your body that are aching, because our bodies are very rarely the way we want them to be, and just allowing yourselves just to kind of know that. And if there is a part of you that's aching or isn't quite working in the way that you want it to, then know that there's a whole other part of you that is working, that is okay. And so, just the fact that you're able to come to do yoga is enough. So you do exactly what you feel you can do, and there's no, I always work with the way, or I always kind of say there's no right or wrong. What feels right for you is right. There's nobody else can tell you that. Nobody knows your body the way that you do. So we're going to soften the knees, shrugging the shoulders up and down. And just focusing your gaze. And we're just going to start to work with the breath a little bit to wake ourselves up. So going quite carefully, knees are quite soft, going to cross the arms in front, and as we breathe in, we're going to take the arms up. And as we breathe out, we're going to soften the knees, take the arms down. As we breathe in, take the arms up. On the out breath, we soften the knees and go down. And just carry on, so kind of controlling it as well. So you're not just mindlessly flinging the arms around. You're aware of what you're doing, and you're coming into contact with your body, your shoulders, your hips, your spine, your feet. How it all feels right now. With your breath, breathing in as we take the arms up. Breathing out, maybe going a little bit deeper, rounding the spine. And as you breathe out, coming up, and you're not reaching up necessarily, but the legs might straighten. Softening the knees as you go down on the out breath, bringing the arms up on the in breath. And just working with that, kind of working into, in a sense, a little bit of a forward bend as well as a squat. And then just see, the next time you breathe out, can you allow the arms to hang? And maybe take the right hand on the left shoulder, left hand on the right shoulder. Just lift up one heel at a time, and your knees can be quite soft, it's absolutely fine. Lift up one heel at a time. And then just see if you can unfold the arms, and the hands might just go onto the knees, or they might go onto the ankles. Or if it's too much for you, you need to put your hands on a chair, that's fine too. And then when you're ready, imagine there's strings or pulleys up through the back of the waist, round spine, to bring you back up to stand. So you come up to stand. Shake off the wrists, shake off the ankles, all those kind of things. So really kind of waking yourself up and working with the circulation a little bit. Then we're just going to do a little twist. So we're going to place the right hand on the left shoulder, left hand goes behind, and just twist towards the left, and then reverse it. So left hand on the right shoulder, right hand goes behind, twist towards the right. So just starting to twist. So waking up the upper part of the spine. Soften your knees, so you're not taking any strain in the knees, you're allowing the pelvis and the hips and all those parts of your body and your spine just to integrate. Make sure you're breathing. And if you've got the room, you can take the arms a little bit wider and really noticing where you're feeling any kind of twist. So yoga is about connecting mind, body and something deeper. So it's all about knowing, being conscious of how you're moving, and also on a deep level on how you're feeling. And then just come back to centre. And then if you look at your feet, just being aware of your feet, your toes. You can lift the toes up, can bring the toes down. And if like me, what I just did then, I just moved my fingers. So try to keep your hands still and just lift the toes up and down. Do you find yourself rocking back? That's fine, because your body should move. Why wouldn't it? Then bring in the toes down and lift the heels a few times. Lift the heels up and down a few times. Let the arms kind of rest. Your gaze is focused, because it is a bit of a balance. If you need to hold on to a chair or the wall or something, whatever's around you, then obviously you make that call. And then just allow the heels to come down. And then if you look at your feet, just see, can you lift up the big toes, just the big toes. Lift up the big toes and then bring the toes down. Just see if you can do that a few times. Makes me laugh because I don't think I can do it. That's it. Big toes, it might take you a while, and then bring the toes down. If it's really impossible, you can press the other foot or toes down to lift the big toes up. Just kind of see, and you can always turn me off if you don't know, if you don't like what I'm saying. You can just turn me off. Start again. So so now that's the big toes. Let's see if we can just lift up the so keep the big toes down. Can you lift up the middle three? These are really good ones at finding the arch of the foot, of being able to draw up through the arch of the foot. So if you can't do that, then you keep the little toe and the big toes down, just lift up the middle three. And you might feel that drawing up through the centre of the foot, through the legs, and that works right through to the pelvic floor, through to the centre of the spine. And then just let go of the feet. And work that again if you like. You can stop the recording and just kind of work with that. And you can sit on a chair, you know, and kind of work with that. So just trying to wake up the feet, because now what we're going to do, we're just going to roll onto the outside edge of the right foot, the inside edge of the left foot. So we're just kind of roll, sending ourselves over to the right slightly. Then come onto the tips of the toes. So we roll ourselves over to the outside edge of the left foot, the inside edge of the right foot. Round through the heels to go over towards the right. Forward through the toes to go over towards the left. Back through the heels. So we're rolling through the feet. Rolling all the way through the feet. Then as you do that, you can feel that through your hips. I've got a creaky floorboard. So you can feel that through the hips as you just roll the spine. Roll the spine. Or the pelvis, and feel that movement through the whole of your spine as you roll through the feet. And then we're going to reverse it. So come to centre, just move away from the creak. So if you roll onto the outside edge of the left foot, inside edge of the right foot. Back through the heels, round to the right, forward through the toes, to the left, back through the heels, over towards the right, forward through the toes, back through the heels. So if you place your hands on your hips, feel that movement deep inside there, deep inside the pelvis, because we're using this movement in a sense to free up the pelvis and any tightness in those muscles in the lower spine, the back of the body, as well as around the hips, because we hold so much tension all around this part of our body. And just by using the feet, our awareness, our attention on the feet, can we let go of what's going on in our hips and our lower back? Or a little bit, obviously the tension or those muscles there. It's quite a big call just to say let go of all that tension, but can we just ease it? Can we just find a little bit of comfort and then stop? So you come to centre. So now focus your gaze, and we're going to lift up the heels. So you're on a bit of a balance, and then we're going to ever so carefully. Can you just drop the chin, soften the knees, and just ease down a little bit so the heels are lifted. Just see, you might want to hold on to something. Keeping the heels lifted. Can you come back up? And then again, round the spine slightly, keeping the heels lifted. Can you roll down? And your hands might touch the floor or they might not. And then can you come up? So it's quite a big one for balance, and it's a good one at kind of waking up the feet. And the legs, you can feel it in your legs. All to fall over. And then just rounding the spine a little bit. Hands might come to the knees, or the hand might come to the floor. And then round yourself back up. And then just stop. Now when you bring your heels down, just feel that utter relief. But now you have the whole contact of the feet with the floor. From the heels to the base, the toes, little toe, big toe. And the whole sense of the outside edge of the foot and the inside edge of the foot. Just shrug the shoulders a few times. So now we've got the whole, I'm going to turn to the side. We've got the whole of the feet resting on the floor. You're going to soften your knees. We're going to round the spine as though the back of the spine, the back of the waist can be drawn up. The front of the chest can be drawn in. Soft knees. Maybe the hand can come to the knees. If you lift up one heel at a time, just to ease into the backs of the legs. Allow the top of the head to hang. Maybe with the knees quite bent, the fingertips might come to the floor. Lift up one heel at a time as well. Just see how that feels. And then as you lift up the heels, you're going to be aware that the knee bends. So now keep the heels down, but bend one knee at a time. Keep the heels down, but bend one knee at a time. Allow the top of the head and the neck to lengthen. So the next time bends forward, really being aware of that footprint down through the right foot. The right knee bends forward. Maybe you can place the left hand on the back of the waist. Maybe you can turn to look up towards the ceiling. And then bring the left hand down. As you bend the left knee, really being aware of that footprint down through the left foot. Maybe take the right hand at the back of the waist, turn the gaze to look up towards the ceiling. And then bring the right hand down. Now just continue, if it's okay, if this is too much for you, you can have your hands on a chair. You can be doing this on a chair. I've got an invisible chair. So you're just working this as much as you can. As the right knee bends, the left hand can rest behind you. Now you've got space around the neck and the jaw is soft. As the right knee bends, you've got space around the centre of the spine to turn, so the gaze comes up towards the ceiling. And if it feels okay with your shoulder, maybe you can take that left arm up. Make sure you're breathing, and then you can soften the knees to bring the left hand down. As you bend the left knee, that makes space around the right hip to allow the spine to turn. The right hand maybe can rest behind, don't have to do any more than that. Gaze comes up towards the ceiling, make space between the shoulder and the chin. Maybe the right arm will lift. Make sure you're breathing. Come out of it as carefully as you went in. Do the same on the other side. See where you are. Maybe just easing through it. And then just come back with both hands resting on the floor. The knees can be quite bent. Allow the top of the head to hang. See how that feels. And ever so carefully walk your hands forward till the knees bend. Flatten the soles of the feet. Flatten the soles of the feet. And just ease your hips back to child's pose. So you go to where you go. Sometimes, you know, you can put a cushion or a blanket in the backs of the knees or underneath the ankles, just to allow the weight of your hips to settle, to rest back down. Support, if you make two like fists with your hands, you can support the forehead, if need be. If your forehead kind of goes a bit lower quite easily, you can have the forehead on one hand, or the forehead might go onto the floor. So just see how that feels in your body as you breathe, and giving the weight of your body down into the floor. And then when you're ready, come into all fours. Come into all fours. Right, so we just do a few cat stretches. So we're going to allow the top of the head to drop, top of the head towards the floor. Draw the chin in, and just imagine you can see your navel. So that will round your spine, round the spine. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, take your gaze forward and just halfway up the wall. And allow yourself to sink between the shoulder blades and sink at the back of the waist. Bringing the gaze back towards the navel, round spine, round spine. Breathing in. And then as you breathe out, taking your gaze forward and just halfway up the wall. And just continue, really being aware of how that feels in your neck, and just imagining, because it does, the neck muscles connect all the way through between the shoulder blades and down through to the centre of the spine. So you're not just mobilising your neck or your spine individually, you're mobilising the whole of your spine. And you're feeling your breath, your weight bearing in your wrists and your knees. So being aware of all these things and slowing it down. So feeling what you're feeling and taking your time, because you're worth it, you're worth that time. And then when you're ready, just come back to neutral, what you feel is neutral. So you're not looking up, you're not looking in towards your navel, your gaze is just between your hands. And then we're just going to walk the hands, we're just going to work into a bit of a side stretch. So that was a forward and back bend, so now we're going to walk into a side bend. So we're just going to walk the hands round towards the left, walk the hands round towards the left, come back to centre, then you're going to walk the hands round towards the right, just as far round as you can, and then just carry on walking the hands round, back towards the left, back towards the right. And then as you do this, taking your attention to where you feel this in your body. So as the hands go round towards the left, can you feel that length from the outside edge of the right wrist up through the arm, the outside edge of the right shoulder, all the way round towards the outside edge of the right hip? Come back to centre. Do the same on the other side. So as the hands walk round to the right, can you feel that length, that connection, even from the little finger, the left little finger up through the arm to the left hip? And the right side of the body compresses as the left side lengthens. Then come back to centre, and then just bring your hands round towards the right. Now, if this is okay for you, so your hands towards the left, if this is all right for you, and that's, you feel kind of, it's a nice sensation, that feeling of length, because you know, some of us, we like those feelings. If your knees feel all right on those kind of things, can you ease your hips back towards your heels? That just increases that length down the right side of the body. If possible, can you bring that left arm at the back of the waist perhaps, and just turn to look down towards your left foot, and really feeling that stretch down the right side of the body as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, can you really let go, really lengthening the right side of the body. And of course, you're opening lung spaces, you're increasing lung capacity by breathing into different areas, just by moving into different shapes. And then just come back to centre, and go around towards the right, just exactly the same way, and take your hands as far around as you can. You don't have to do any more than that. If it feels okay, ease your hips back towards the heels. Take the right hand behind the waist, turn the gaze to look towards the right foot or right heel, and breathe into the back of your body. And on the out breath, feel how that is. And then come back out of it when you're ready. We're going to draw the gaze towards the navel, so you're going to round the spine. We're going to take the gaze forward and halfway up the wall. So you feel yourself sink between the shoulders, sink at the back of the waist, so you go into that extension or back bend. Then as you breathe in, bring the gaze towards the navel, so we go into that forward bend. As you breathe out, take the gaze forward and up. And just continue. Just mobilising the spine, so all we're trying to do is find mobility. And let go of tension and those muscles that inhibit our movement. So we're just going to do those side little movements one more time. So come into all fours, or neutral I should say, you're already in all fours. Walk the hands round towards the left, and as far round towards the left as you possibly can go with your hands. Then ease your hips back towards your heels. Look towards your left foot. So you're turning the gaze. And allow the right shoulder, and can you let go of the left shoulder? Then can you take the left hand towards the feet? Can you take the right hand behind? And just kind of see how that feels. Breathe into the back of your body. If you like, you can link the hands or link the elbows and see where you are. But your gaze is down towards that left foot. And then come out when you're ready. And then ease the hands round towards the right. As far round towards the right as possible. And if it's okay, ease the hips back. And you can always have a block or a blanket underneath your hips or between your knees. If possible, take the right hand behind. Turn to look down towards your left foot. And then come back when you're ready. And then round the spine, round spine, breathe in. And as you breathe out, taking the gaze forward and up. And just see how that feels in your body as you breathe and as you move. Till eventually you come to neutral spine and you just ease your hips back towards the heels. You can make light fists with the hand to support the head, or the forehead might come onto the floor. Just kind of see how that feels. Feeling your breath in the back of your body. And if it's possible, you can take your hands down by your ankles or your feet. If it's possible, you can take the hands behind, maybe take hold of the elbows. Just kind of see. So all these movements just change the position of the shoulders, make us breathe in a different place. And then just coming up when you're ready, and just turning and coming down onto your back. And just settle there for a few moments, so your hands are just resting on the base of your ribs or your belly. And you just feel your breath as it comes in. You just feel your breath as it leaves. And you're not trying to do anything particularly. You're just allowing yourself to rest and to feel your breath as it arrives inside, and your breath as it leaves. So allowing yourself a bit of space or a bit of rest before you carry on with the rest of your day, or whatever you have planned. But just knowing that there's always a bit of time for you. A space somewhere in the day ahead that you can find just to rest, to nourish yourself, to recuperate, to give back. It's always that sense that sometimes we feel as though we're giving. Yoga and these practices allow us to give something back, to replenish and to grow. So staying here for as long as feels right for you, and only coming out when you're ready, so you can open the eyes and come over onto your side and just rest for a few moments, and never rushing to get up, but just being aware of where you are, and just coming up when you're ready, resting again for a few moments, knowing where you are, acknowledging how you feel, how your body feels. It feels a little bit more mobile, a little bit more easier. And then carrying on with the rest of your day or whatever you have planned. So thank you for joining me